smells good compared to Williams-Brice Stadium. Now, I live pretty close to these people because I live on the border of South Carolina, and they're delusional. Okay, you're talking about a team that has a losing record to Duke in football. And I'm not talking about they just played Duke 2 or 3 times in the 80s or something, and Duke got lucky, and so Duke's beat them twice and Carolina's beat them once. No. 17 wins, 24 losses against Duke. So this is over a prolonged period of time. This isn't some sort of snapshot in time of when Carolina just happened to be crappy. This is over forever. You can't consistently beat Duke. That's an embarrassment. Carolina is an embarrassment to organized sport, not just football. I'm talking about organized American sport. Carolina is an embarrassment. Okay, they're terrible. Magnum, do you know how long Carolina Gamecocks played football until they won a bowl game? Just take a guess. How many years it took the Gamecocks to win a bowl game?
Well, let's see. Judging by, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but judging by the way you're talking, I'm gonna guess around the 40, 50 year mark.
You're way off, sir.
Oh my God! Really?
107 years.
Oh my God! What?
You played organized college football for 107 years before you won a bowl game. That is, if you only know one thing about South Carolina football, that's the only thing you need to know. 107 years before they won their first. They didn't win their first bowl game till the early 90s. The early 1990s. Not the early 1890s. That's when they started playing. 107 years. If you're picking Carolina to win the SEC, then you're either allergic to money or you're just brain dead. One of the two, because they haven't been able to get out of their own way since the beginning of time. And burning wheelbarrow tires and the couch out of your truck's fine, but that doesn't make Carolina any better of a football team. So I don't get what they're doing. So while they've had a good little run here where they've managed to win 9, 10, 11 games a couple of years in a row, but that doesn't tell me anything about. All that tells me is they still have found a way not to win a conference title. You've never won an SEC title ever. Period. Ever. Never. Not when Alabama was sorry in the 90s or the early 2000s. Never. Not when Georgia had its down years. You didn't win one then. You're not gonna win one. You may luck up and win the East. It won't be this year, but you may luck up and win the East a year or two. But you're going to get humiliated by whoever you play from the West. So sorry to go on that little tirade there, and I'll skip the rest of my bottom feeders and let you go to your bottom feeder since I took up too much time. But Carolina, you're an embarrassment and a joke. And and to all you Carolina fans out there, I can't wait till week 3. That's all I have to say. I can't wait. And don't disappear off of YouTube after that game either. So over to you, Magnum.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but I'll try. All right. Well, okay. Let me get focused here. In the SEC, I'm definitely going to say, I'll agree. Kentucky and Tennessee are probably the two worst in the SEC. Kentucky, you say they're miles away from being relevant. Well, they've never really been relevant in college football. So to say they're miles away, I think is an understatement. Tennessee, they're still. I still think they're several years off before they're even thinking about winning the East. They got a lot of work to do. I think that's all I can say on them. as much as I want to say Vanderbilt, I mean, these guys have been decent the last few years. They've won 9 games for 2 years in a row. But to sit here and say they're going to compete would be ridiculous. I do think they can upset a few teams along the way, but as far as saying they're going to compete in the SEC is just ridiculous. So that's my teams in the SEC: Kentucky, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. That's the 3 teams I think that are, like, if you want to call them bottom feeders, there you go. The Pac-12. This one's a little difficult because you got several, but I do think as far as being that turd that won't flush, as you say, Colorado. This team is horrible. Colorado is a joke. Actually, I don't think Colorado is nowhere near as good as anybody in this conference. I mean, that includes teams like Washington State, Utah, Washington, California, Arizona. I mean, Colorado is just, it's like, they're just terrible. They're nowhere near anybody in this conference. This conference, well, I can say Colorado and possibly Oregon State, because Oregon State really hasn't done much in quite some time. So if I had to pick 2 teams from the Pac-12 that would be, I guess, considered bottom feeders, it would be Colorado and Oregon State. Over to the Big Ten, my bottom feeders in this conference, I don't know why I'm having to pick like 2 teams, because a lot of these conferences have more than one team that's just terrible. I would definitely say Illinois and Indiana in this conference would be my 2 teams that are just ass. I mean, you do have teams like Purdue and Iowa and Northwestern. I mean, these are teams that are not going to compete, but Illinois and Indiana, in my opinion, are just 2 garbage programs. I mean, we've got 2 basketball teams, chilling in this conference, and they've just been terrible in football. I know Illinois has had a decent year every now and then. I want to say it was back in 2007 when they made a BCS Bowls. What was the quarterback? Juice Williams or something like that. They had a decent run that year, but overall, Illinois, they've been a perennial bottom feeder and just garbage. So that's the 2 teams I'm picking in the Big Ten to just completely and utterly suck. The Big 12, where to start? If I had to pick 1 or 2 teams in this conference, I will say Texas Tech and West Virginia. West Virginia is going to get murdered by Alabama. West Virginia has no business being on the same field. Why these 2 schools decided to schedule each other is beyond me. This, in my personal opinion, is not even going to be a game. And I know ESPN's probably going to hype this game up, as far as, could be a great game and all this. No. Let's put the crack pipe down, people. This game is not even going to be close. In my personal opinion, Alabama will win this game at least by 28 points, maybe even more. This is a joke of a schedule. Anybody says that this is a quality opponent for Alabama, just don't talk to me about college football ever again. Then you got Texas Tech, who really hasn't really been, never really been worth anything in the Big 12. Now, they're in the same situation as Illinois had. They've had a few years where they made some noise. They've competed, but overall, they've been a crap school in a crap conference. So by far, you've got Texas Tech and West Virginia, the 2 worst teams in this conference. God, what a terrible team, dude! Like West Virginia. What are they thinking moving to the Big 12? Like, I mean, yeah, it's better competition than where they were at, but I mean, West Virginia, it's kind of like the same situation, as Miami. They owned it. Miami used to own the Big East. They moved to the ACC. They can't even, win the conference. Hell, West Virginia for a good while, was the cream of the crop over in the Big East, and here they are moving to the Big 12, and these guys are going to get stomped on year in and year out. This is pathetic. West Virginia is a joke. I mean, see, Now you got me rambling on about these guys. All right, and then over in the ACC, where to start here? I do think the two bottom feeders in this conference. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going with three in this conference. I'm going with Syracuse. I'm going with Wake Forest, and I'm going with Georgia Tech. Now, a lot of people was like, "Really, you gonna put Georgia Tech in the ACC? In your bottom feeder talk?" Yeah, I'm gonna put Georgia Tech in my bottom feeder talk. This is a team that runs a Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey circus offense. I mean, this shit belongs in a circus. Okay, like, sorry. I mean, the offense they run is a joke. Just to put it to perspective, the best quarterback they had transferred, Vlad Lee, gone. Okay, that they don't even know what they're doing over there. All right, they run this offense that they surprise people that first year, but now it's predictable. People have caught on to it. It's not doing anything. You know what? And the day they fire Paul Johnson, they're in some trouble because I know for a fact they're probably going to end up moving to whether a pro-style offense or some sort of spread offense. These guys are going to be in trouble, man, because their offensive line is so undersized. I mean, you have to have an athletic offensive line to run that garbage they run. But that offense, man, that's some carnival sewage, man. Like, I mean, that's terrible. They God help them when they switch to a pro style or spread. They're going to be screwed. But yeah, as far as like Wake Forest and Syracuse, I mean, I know Wake Forest had that 1 year, I think it was back in 2006, where they won the conference, but they're perennial bottom feeders. Syracuse, Georgia Tech, and hell, you probably throw Virginia in there. The ACC is loaded with teams that should be flushed, in my personal opinion. And anybody who talks about North Carolina being a threat, I mean, again, you're smoking something, because this is a team that seems to finish around the 500 mark every year, and for some odd reason, you've got that Nazi run style news broadcast thing that I want to call it, ESPN. They always want to talk about North Carolina as being one of the top notch contenders. Like, how can you put North Carolina as a team up there that you can say is going to contend to win the ACC? It don't make any sense. Like, this team is constantly finishing around 500. They don't do anything. How? I don't get it. I mean, I know you sat there, and I know you've heard year in and year out people talk about North Carolina as being a possible team that can win the ACC. How can anybody even think that North Carolina is going to win the ACC? That's just asinine. This is a basketball school, a very good basketball school. I mean, to sit there and think that North Carolina is going to contend is just ridiculous.
The University of Tennessee must have believed that, because didn't they get their coach from North Carolina?
No, I think Carter said something about that. I think you got him mixed up with somebody else or something, like, because Carter said it that his name is able to be confused rather easily. So he did say something about that.
So you're telling me that the coach of Tennessee then is Butch Jones from Cincinnati? Because I thought they had Butch Davis from North Carolina.
No, they got Butch Jones. He's from Cincinnati.
Wait. So Tennessee hired North Carolina's football coach?
No, Tennessee hired Cincinnati's.
Okay. Continue, sir.
I'm sorry. That was actually funny. How you just busted out laughing as soon as I said Cincinnati. But yeah, well, that just goes to show you. Now, I know last week BVD was talking about how even when they sucked, they beat us. I mean, I'll be no denying that. Lane Kiffin, he did beat us that 1 year. But flash forward to 2010, we had a losing season. We sucked, and we beat them. So that's a two-way street there, BVD. If you're listening in, and pretty sure you are, but you make sure you turn that hearing aid up, buddy, because your age, I'm pretty sure it's a little difficult.